Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Monday, May 6th, and we are here trying to help you answer your financial questions or just trying to help you organize your thoughts around the right questions to even ask yourselves. Sometimes you guys are worried about one thing and you come on the show and we're like, well, that's fine, but did you think about this thing or another thing? And I think that because Mark and I are both certified financial planners, we tend to be big picture people. Also, we're both voyeurs, so we love hearing your stories. And I don't want anyone to be worried about coming on and being too shy because, we can change your name. It's fine. And we can change your state. And maybe your voice isn't as distinctive as you think. But whatever's going on, we would like to help you out, whether having you on the air live or via an email episode. All you need to do is go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and then, of course, let us know if you do want to join us on the air. While you're on the website, don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter and subscribe to Jill on Money Live. That is our subscription service that costs $35. What a low price. You have access to 4 quarterly live webinars, plus you get to look at the whole back catalog and bonus video content. So all of that is behind the paywall. The paywall is very low, a low wall at $35. Okay, let's get to you. Today, we are talking to Joe, who's on the line from Arkansas. Joe, how are you and what can we do for you today?
Hi, Jill, Mark. I'm a big fan of yours. So I'm a personal finance podcast junkie. So you're at the top of my list on the rotation.
Oh, I don't even want to know who else is there, but thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. What's going on? How can we help you out?
Okay, so I'm at the cusp of I'm stopped chasing any career goals. I just wanted to slide in the home plate. So my workplace is becoming toxic. I work for one of those 3-letter government agencies, and with the tech industry, with all the layoffs, I've considered myself lucky. But then my wife is already retired, and I see the grass is greener on the other side.
Okay, so Joe, how old are you?
56 and a half.
I like that you add the half in. The half is only meaningful if it's 59 and a half, and I think you know why. How old is your wife that's retired?
57.
Was she also a government worker? Does she have a pension?
Well, she was a middle school teacher. After COVID, she's got burned out trying to teach 45 kids online. So she retired in 2021 and will get pension of $21,000 at age 60, unreduced.
Okay. Got it. And what's your pension benefit look like?
This was the options I've had. Like I could retire end of this year with $27,000, or I could wait till 60 and get $42,000.
Wait. Stop here. $27,000 now. And if you work for 3.5 more, if you retire and just wait to collect the pension, does the amount jump up, or do you have to keep working for those next 3.5 years?
Yeah, I have to keep working for the next 3.5.
And what would that amount be in 3.5 years?
42,000.
Oof, that's a big jump, but you hate it. Okay, maybe you can retire anyway. Whatever. I'm here for you. I'm trying to make your dreams come true. So if you were to look at your spending right now, Joe, you and your wife, what do you need in order to float your lifestyle?
We looked at it, $6,500, $7,000 to keep the lights on. Ideally, we'd like $10,000.
10? Wait a minute. That's a lot. That's a big difference.
Keeping the lights on is like paying the mortgage, food, utilities, and so forth, and some minimal entertainment.
All right. So I wanted to have like a little negotiation with you. So maybe $9,000 a month. $10,000 seems like a lot. But you both have the health care taken care of, right? So we don't have to worry about an extra health care cost. Again, I'm going to presume you retire right now, but I want to know, is there anything else that I should add into that, say, $9,000 a month?
Yeah, the health care is covered if I retire at the end of the year.
Okay. Have you saved a pile of money? Because obviously your wife will get Social Security. Will you also have Social Security or not?
Yes. I'm planning to start that at 70.
Okay. What's the 70? What's the amount at 70?
It's like $4,200 a month.
Okay. And what about your wife? Same thing, 70?
We were looking at her pulling at 62, about $18,000, or if she waited, She would get it 30,000 at 70.
She gets 30,000 total at 70.
Right.
Is there any reason why we wouldn't wait until 70 for her? Because of, in other words, does she have a health issue, or is there anything else that's bubbling in her life that would make you think you should claim early?
No.
Okay, that's good. Now, let's see if you can float this, because what obviously we are seeing here is that, between your two pensions and your Social Security, you're going to be fine. But we just got to get you through the next bunch of years. We got to get you to age 70, right? And so have you saved a whole heck of a lot of money to get you there? Or would you, would you be willing to work in order, like part-time or do something else so that you could make money? So let's talk first about the assets that you've accumulated. What do you have, Joe?
So we have $2.3 million total.
Holy smokes.
Assets.
And tell me, where is that? Is it pre-tax, post-tax? Like, that's a lot of moolah, baby.
Yeah, so we have $730K in the brokerage, and then IRA and Roth between myself and my wife, $82,000.
What about your deferred comp? What do you have in there?
$869K.
Okay, I got it. So what I'm just looking at those two numbers, her IRA and your 869. So that's like almost half of the money that has not yet been taxed, right?
Right.
Okay. So how would you feel? Do you have kids? Do we have to worry about leaving some stupid legacy? I mean, would you love to pass on your assets and build a beautiful legacy?
No, we've talked about it. And it's like, we're going to, provide the kids, gift it while we're still alive. And we want to fly first class so they don't have to.
I've never heard that. That's awesome. Okay. I want to tell you something, Joe. This is a remarkable story because how much are you making now? It doesn't sound like you guys made tons and tons of money, but you must have been very good savers. You've accumulated a lot. So what are you earning right now?
$150,000.
It's amazing. You guys have accumulated a ton of money. So if I say to you, let's say that it's the end of the year, you're done. Okay. You say you give your notice, you're a good guy. And now what we know is that you get your 27,000. We're not going to get your wife's money for a few more years. So we just have your 27,000, right? Then what we have to do is essentially pull money out of the pre-retirement account that would allow you to do this. Now, what you're going to probably have to do is invoke what's called the rule of 55, since you're over the age of 55, and you're going to have to turn on this ability to take it's weird. The way it works is you have to be 55 years old. Unless your plan, does your plan allow you to take your deferred comp if you are under the age of 59 and a half, just because of you're a government person?
Yeah, like using the rule of 55.
Yeah. Okay. So you can use the rule of 55. All right. So then what I would do is I would set it up that way because, it's actually a miracle because in some respects, you have no income except you'll have okay, so let's move ahead. It's 2025, right? The only income you'll have is your pension, right? So then we need for you to pull out a bunch of money every month so that you are able to live basically within your means. You would want to, I think that what you'd want to do is use the age 70 as your end date and go back and see if you can, create substantially equal distributions, right? From January 1st of 2025 until you're age 70. Then you'll deplete the money, that 869,000. It'll freak you out a little bit. It's fine. If that is not, and maybe that's not going to be enough money, but we'll know more. You can use some of your brokerage account money to augment that. And then you can use your wife's $300,000 IRA when she's 59 and a half and do that. And, frankly, even if you said you want to kind of deplete the account even sooner, like maybe, let's say it's from 57 to 65 or 68, right? You'll have to see what the numbers are that they give you. We know that your wife's pension kicks in 3 years. And so you don't need as much money. And then you can start using her IRA to augment. And hopefully the money that's not been taxed all comes out by the time you're 70 years old. Now you get to 70. You've got the 2 pensions, the 2 Social Security checks. You still have the Roth. You still have a bunch of money in brokerage. You're flying first class. Life's good. I think that this works. You are not someone who you didn't make tons and tons of money, but you saved a lot. What about your house? When you said $2.3 million, was that inclusive of the equity in your home or not?
Yeah, they excluded the house.
Okay. What's the house worth?
About the 550.
Okay. And how much of a mortgage remains on that house?
363.
Okay. And is it a nice low rate?
Yeah, it's a 2.25.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you're not paying that off. Is there anything else that you think we should know about? Because I think this is doable. And maybe you'll end up leaving your kids the house, the Roth accounts. I mean, maybe that will be left over, but I think you can do this. Are there any other complicating factors that we've left out in your story?
My only concern is that, like, I try to do that frame of mind of talking to my older self, or my older self talking to me is like, hey, remember me? I might end up in a nursing home.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so I get that. But if that were to occur, okay, God forbid, here's how I think I talk to my older self. I say to myself, okay, Joe, yes, it could be that, you've spent all this money down in your IRA account, and that instead of having 2.3 million of a net worth, I only have $1 million. Okay. But you know what? At that time, I'll have 2 Social Security checks, 2 pension checks. That can cover a lot of my need if something were to arise. Not everybody needs 12 years of long-term care. And usually most people need care for a few years. And I have enough money to float that between my 4 sources of income and my asset base. I think that will work. I would say that there's probably something else, I think, that could be operating in the background. I think it's the back of your head is like, you don't deserve to retire. You're only 56 and a half. I have a sense that because you've been working your whole life, that may be the voice that's actually in your head. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm good, all right, aren't I? Pretty good. I know that. I can tell. I mean, because I'm going to go into therapy. The thing about the way that I look at the world is I know we all have those voices. I really do. And I think, you and I are about the same age. I'm a little older than you. And I have this conversation with people all the time who are our age, which is, it's hard if you've lived your whole life in the accumulation phase where you're saving and investing and you're doing that and you were a worker. We did not grow up in a time where we said, oh, there's balance to life. We did not. And so I understand that can be sort of daunting. I think that you probably, is it possible that you might want to say, hey, I want to do a little bit of some work on the side because it's a long time to be doing nothing? I think that might happen. But I do think that you've worked very hard. You have been in a job you're lucky enough that has a pension benefit. You probably could have gone into a different industry, made a lot more money, but you don't get the pension. And so I think you've earned this. What you have to do is give yourself permission to take advantage of the fact that you have earned this. Again, you can always go and do something. Do you have an idea of, like, if I were going to do something in another career or in another life, is there something you think you'd like to do that would keep you engaged?
Yeah, probably work at Lowe's.
Everyone says that.
Tasks that I've been doing.
I mean, but is that true? Because I do worry about that. I wonder if people who are knowledge workers could then make the shift. Retail sucks. It's so hard. Like, I don't know, maybe. I mean, we have a guy who's like, drives cars to tennis tournaments. He loves tennis. He thinks it's amazing. I'm always worried he's going to, he's a listener. I think he's going to get bored, but so far he's not. But you know what? You could do something. And I do think that the main thing that you need to give yourself permission to do is at least have this conversation, which we're having, and think about it and talk to your wife and say, look, it's freaking me out. Like, I know we can do it. And I'm sure that if you're a personal finance podcast junkie, then you've probably run the numbers and you can do this. So you're calling here to kind of reconfirm what I think you already know. And now that you've done that, it's on you to say, okay, am I really ready to do it? And if you're not, it's okay. But if it's toxic and yucky and you don't like going to work and it's miserable, there's a lot of ways to make a few bucks in this world. I hate to be, 30 something years into my career and be miserable about something. That's not worth it, especially if you have the ability to step aside. So last couple of questions. Have you guys done your estate planning?
Yeah, we have done the estate planning in Tennessee, but then we've moved to Arkansas. So that's something we need to revisit to align it with the state that we're living in.
Yep. You bring your docs to an estate attorney there in Arkansas. Let that attorney review it and make sure that there's nothing that's missing from the state specific rules. It's very odd to me. Like, I know I get the whole formation of the United States, but some of the state laws are so different around estate and death taxes that you really do have to get it checked out again. But I think you're in good shape, Joe, and I feel comfortable with it. You feeling okay? You feel like you're ready to rock and roll and have this conversation with yourself and your wife?
Yeah, I can say, I don't know if I can say this on the air. It's like, hey, I got FU money.
That's it. We like to call it, and my friend Michael likes to say, you are in the one bad meeting away club. Meaning one bad meeting away from just saying, you know what, I've had enough. And it is so much better if you've done this in advance and contemplated it and think about it. Maybe what you do for the next 6-8 months is really think about, if I weren't working every day, how would I occupy my time? I think that's I think that's a smart way to proceed, that if you're going to give your notice and you're going to do that, then really start to consider, like, what does my day look like? Because you've been living a life for, more than 3 decades, or 4 decades about, like work and that structure. So what are you going to do to replace that structure is something that I would also be thinking about. So here's what I have to say, podcast junkie. You're free to go. Thank you so much. Hey, if you're like Joe and his wife and you want to think about what's the retirement, what's the off-ramp, what's the exit strategy, you want to run something by us, that's great. Maybe you're mid-career and you're having a similar kind of conversation like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this thing for 10, 15, 20 more years. Whatever that thing is, whatever you think is standing in your way, maybe there are some different ways forward, and we'd love to help you out with that. So give us a holler, go to JillOnMoney.com, click the contact us button, let us know if you'd like to come on the air. And you listen, if you're there and you're in this kind of mindset, then buy my book, The Great Money Reset, because that is a great way to have a framework for considering how you make big changes in your life and don't blow your money up along the way. You can subscribe to this program in the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Please leave us a rating or review wherever you listen. And of course, please try to lift someone up, change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.